The streets of London were alive with excitement as the coronation of King Charles III approached, but the grandeur of the event was a cause for controversy. While the government had spared no expense in ensuring the celebration was fit for a king, many Brits were left struggling to make ends meet in the midst of an ongoing cost-of-living crisis. As millions of pounds were spent on decorations, food and entertainment, food banks were seeing a surge in demand, and families were being forced to cut items off their grocery lists to make their budgets stretch further. It was a harsh reality that stood in stark contrast to the opulence of the coronation. The government's decision to prioritise the coronation over addressing the country's economic challenges had drawn criticism. The public questioned whether it was appropriate to spend tens of millions of pounds on a lavish ceremony while so many were struggling to make ends meet. Yet, the coronation went on as planned, with King Charles III taking his place on the throne amidst pomp and circumstance. However, the celebrations were marred by the protests of those who felt that the government's decision to prioritise the coronation over the well-being of the people was a slap in the face. Despite the government's attempts to distract from the economic challenges facing the country, the current state of the UK's economy remains a cause for concern. According to the IMF, the country's GDP is expected to contract by 0.3% this year, the worst performance of any major developed economy. As the country moves forward under the reign of King Charles III, the controversy surrounding the coronation serves as a reminder of the government's responsibility to prioritise the needs of the people over lavish displays of wealth and power. In today's video, we're going to explore the UK economic crisis. But first, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more updates. Once upon a time, the United Kingdom was at the pinnacle of the Industrial Revolution. Its factories were the envy of the world, its economy booming, and its navy ruled the seas. The mighty empire colonised vast swathes of the globe and solidified its power. But now, the situation is crumbling. The UK is facing a financial crisis unlike any it has seen in generations. First, there are rising energy costs. If you're living in Britain, you're probably feeling the heat, and we're not just talking about the weather. Energy bills are skyrocketing, and it's hitting all hard in the pocket. Can you believe that a typical household in Britain is paying around £2,500 for energy bills this year? And if that's not bad enough, those bills were due to rise to £3,000 a year from April. That's an extra £500 that people simply can't afford. And under such circumstances, how could one expect people to be happy on the lavish spending on the coronation of King Charles? But that's not all. The Russian invasion of Ukraine has made life hell for the British. The supply chain issues have led to price hikes, and the common man is finding it difficult to buy basic commodities. And well, inflation is putting a dent on the daily wages. In fact, daily wages in the UK are facing the brunt of the inflationary crisis, which is causing a significant fall in their purchasing power. According to the International Labour Organization (ILO) report, the crisis is hitting low-income households particularly hard, and the middle classes are also experiencing a reduction in their purchasing power. The Global Wage Report 2022 to 2023 highlights that global monthly wages fell in real terms to minus 0.9% in the first half of 2022. And among advanced G20 countries, real wages in the first half of 2022 are estimated to have declined to minus 2.2%. This means that the UK is not immune to the negative impact of inflation on wages. Inflation is causing a cost of living crisis in the UK, and it is having a greater impact on low-wage earners who spend most of their disposable income on essential goods and services. These items generally experience greater price increases than non-essential items. As a result, low-wage earners are facing an even greater reduction in their purchasing power. The ILO report also highlights that despite nominal adjustments taking place, accelerating price inflation is quickly eroding the real value of minimum wages in many countries, including the UK. This means that the real value of the minimum wage is decreasing, even though it may appear to be increasing in nominal terms. But along with the Ukraine war, there are other underlying reasons for UK decline. In recent years, the UK has experienced a fall in overall productivity, which has been a cause of concern among policymakers. One of the contributing factors to this decline is the diminishing expenditure on research and development, R&D. R&D is crucial for improving productivity, as it allows businesses to develop new products and technologies that increase efficiency and reduce costs. However, in recent years, the UK has experienced a decline in R&D expenditure. According to data from the Office for National Statistics, R&D expenditure in the UK decreased from 1.71% of GDP in 2017 to 1.68% of GDP in 2019. This decline in R&D expenditure has had a negative impact on the productivity of the UK labour force. Without sufficient investment in R&D, businesses are less able to innovate and improve their products and processes, leading to lower productivity. This is especially true for industries that rely heavily on technology and innovation, such as manufacturing and information technology. The lack of R&D investment has also led to a skills gap in the UK labour force. As businesses are less able to innovate, they require fewer highly skilled workers. This has led to a situation where the UK has a surplus of low-skilled workers, but a shortage of highly skilled workers, which has further contributed to the fall in productivity. Moreover, when we talk about the UK's economic struggles in recent years, the topic of foreign direct investment, FDI, is one that cannot be ignored. Following the 2008 financial crisis, the UK government implemented various policies to attract FDI, with the hope that this would help stimulate economic growth and job creation. However, these efforts did not yield the desired results. Moreover, the UK's decision to leave the European Union, EU, in 2016, better known as BREXIT, only served to exacerbate the situation. With the UK no longer being a member of the EU, many major financial institutions were forced to consider relocating their headquarters to EU territory to ensure continued access to the EU's single market. This move not only led to job losses in the UK, but also resulted in a further decline in commerce and revenue to the exchequer. The EU's insistence on financial institutions changing their headquarters to EU territory created a great deal of uncertainty, causing many businesses to hold off on investing in the UK. Despite the UK government's efforts to promote itself as a business-friendly destination for FDI, the uncertainty surrounding Brexit, coupled with the EU's stance on financial institutions, has deterred many investors from considering the UK as a viable option. On top of that, the UK has always been a hub for innovation and scientific advancements. From the discovery of penicillin to the development of the World Wide Web, the UK has been at the forefront of scientific progress. However, in recent years, the UK has been lagging behind other major powers such as the US, China and Japan when it comes to science and technology. One of the main reasons for this is again the lack of investment in research and development. While the UK has some of the best universities in the world, there has been a decline in funding for research and development in recent years. In fact, according to a report by the Royal Society, the UK invests just 1.7% of its GDP in research and development, while the US and China invest 2.8% and 2.1% respectively. Furthermore, the recent AUKUS deal between the US, UK and Australia to bolster Australia's submarine capabilities and contain China has further strained China-UK economic ties. China has already expressed its displeasure at the move and has warned of potential consequences for the UK's economy. With China being one of the UK's largest trading partners, the potential fallout from the strained relations could have a significant impact on the UK's economy. Another reason for the UK's failure to become a science and technology superpower is the brain drain. Many talented scientists and researchers are leaving the UK to work in countries such as the US, where there is better funding and more opportunities for career advancement. Moreover, the lack of a coherent industrial strategy has also hindered the UK's progress in science and technology. Unlike countries such as China and Japan, the UK does not have a clear plan for developing its science and technology sectors. This has led to a lack of direction and focus and has made it difficult for the UK to attract investment and talent. The current situation in the UK economy is undoubtedly challenging, and it seems that the country is struggling to maintain its position as a global economic powerhouse. The current Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, is facing a lot of pressure to find solutions to the problems facing the economy. One of the policies that the government has implemented to address the situation is to provide subsidies to the industry to help them deal with the fallout from the inflationary crisis. Additionally, the government is trying to diversify the sources of energy, reducing reliance on Russia. However, this is proving to be a difficult task, and the situation is compounded by the fact that the UK cannot go back to the EU, which was once a significant market for the country. In a nutshell, the UK's economy is in crisis. The war in Ukraine has further exacerbated the situation. Energy and industrial sector is in a free fall. R&D is lacking, and brain drain is making it difficult for the government to steer the economy out of crisis. But hope is not lost. With the right policies and investing in the people, the UK can once again prosper. But one thing's for sure, spending on lavish ceremonies would not do wonders. If you like our content, do subscribe to the channel and let us know your thoughts in the comments section.